It's oh god, it's the last day of old me. Yeah, my contract finishes today. Pretty fucking excited. Oh god, what a turning point. I am going out this weekend and I'm buying a lot of equipment. I've worked it out and I'm spending a lot of money, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to, but it's like, come on, just do it. So I've got to buy a MacBook Air. I got to buy NTK valve Rode microphone and shock mount with pop filter and desk mount stand, Apogee One and Apogee Duet, and probably just a standalone desktop podcast mic, and blah blah blah, thousands and thousands of dollars later. Which, wow, it's going to be a total splurge, but totally worth it because it's going to be all the equipment I need to get myself ready to go to DJ and to do all sorts of just fucking awesome shit. So I'm pretty excited. Wow, so excited. I'm going to put on my happy pants, which are these extra large Yfronts, which, for all you animation fans out there, suck balls. It's signed by John Kay. That's right. Can you see it? Look at that. It's goddamn George Liquor. Signed by John Kay. A friend of mine got them signed in Melbourne because he went in and visited a studio he was working at. He jokingly said, "Oh, he's coming in. You know, do you want me to get him to sign you something?" And he said that, and I sort of jokingly said, "Yeah, just maybe get him to sign a pair of Yfronts." Kind of joking. And Aaron, being the friggin' legend he is, he actually went out and bought the biggest, most hilarious pair of Yfronts he could find, and actually got John Kay to sign it in-house, which was just like fucking awesome. It was like, cheers, man. And it's seriously one of my most prized material, my first material possession. I mean, I friggin' love John Kay. I love Ren and Stimpy. Oh, come on, log in, you bitch. Come on. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll tell you what, technology and me lately, God, it's been right up my fucking ass. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Yeah, I just loved it. Ren and Stimpy show. One of my all-time favorites, especially the first season. I just could not believe that show existed and that anyone had allowed it to be made. I couldn't. It was just genius and hilarious, and continuity errors and background changes and just complete and utter madness. It was so completely anti everything that I'd seen up to that point in time, except, of course, the occasional things like, I suppose, Samurai Pizza Cats was pretty self-referential and hilarious, and obviously Mighty Mouse: The New Adventures of was written really well. Didn't always hit, but it was pretty friggin' funny. And so there was a few moments of like gems of kind of just genius, and then along came this show. It certainly was one of the inspiring things that made me want to do animation, just because I realized that it can be fun. It's not all just not that there's anything wrong with Hanna-Barbera stuff, but you grow up with a lot of that and a lot of the sort of Care Bears, and again, nothing wrong with these shows. It's just they're very sort of formulaic and very stiff and very regimented. And then along came something which was just completely and utterly anarchic and brilliant. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of John Kay, and one day I'm going to own one of his works. I might even be able to track him down at some sort of event and get him to produce. Because it's been the ultimate dream for me. But in Australia, whenever you try to buy something from America, it's fucking expensive. It's like 1.5 times the price, and on top of that, delivery, which is often about another 20% on top of that. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of a bit like, I just feel ripped off all the time. Like, what? It's getting on a shipping container with all the other shit. Why is it costing so much? And like every single time you go to buy something in Australia, it's like, you look at the website in America and it's about like at least a third more. Even when the exchange rates are at parity, it's still more. It's like the Australia tax, they call it. And I just think, why the fuck is it that, why? Like, why? If you've got a world business and you're selling something in China for the same price as you're selling it in America, well, it's equidistant to Australia, surely. So, like, how can you possibly justify charging more for an Australian market? Do you know why? It's because we've been suckered for so long that we just buy it. We think that's the price. But it's not. It's fucking not the price, and it pisses me off because I should only be paying $1,000 for a laptop, not $1,500 for a laptop, and I should only be paying like $500 for a painting, not $1,500 for a painting, and it really fucking shits me because ultimately, like, what's the difference? You know, everyone's saying it's a global market. Well, then make it fucking global pricing for everything. God, it's just so annoying. So certainly when I go to America, I am going to have to take some pretty, well, I'm certainly going to have to buy a suitcase when I'm over there and come back with just shitloads of everything. Because just equipment in general, I could probably save, just on what I'm buying now, if I was in America, I'd be saving about $1,000. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. So yeah, it does bug me. I'm just off on a little rant there, but why? Fuck the Australia tax. Like, fuck you greedy cunts who keep taking out fucking money just because we're stupid enough to pay it. It pisses me off. Just stop it. Anyway, I said the C word. That's how angry I am. Oh, yeah, the C word. Oh, God, that's a good topic, isn't it? Because, you know, I've had people, like I say it on Facebook, only very occasionally and only when I think it's absolutely deserved. It was pretty much accompanied every post I ever wrote about Tony Abbott, our former Prime Minister, who was fucking cunt, man. He is an absolute cunt. I got in trouble on Facebook by a couple of friends who were like, you can't say that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, actually, I kind of grew up with the word, and it doesn't actually mean as much to me as it does, obviously, to a lot of people. It doesn't bother me at all. No, I don't think any word should be taboo. I don't think any word really, I mean, obviously it does in common usage. It does have a stronger meaning for a lot of people. And that's the reason I use it, really, is because you know, I came up with this massive long list of words that I could have used to describe him, of course, but it just seemed like the only one word that kind of sums up how I felt about him. Now I don't really care because he's, you know, he's just complete and utter failure and everyone's laughing at him. So he's totally gotten what he's deserved. I mean, he's an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment of a human being, and he should be ashamed of himself, absolutely ashamed of himself. For what he did to this country and where he was taking it, and the fact that he's out is just such sweet justice. And everybody in Australia, everybody now is like, oh, thank fuck he's out. At the time when he first came in, people were supporting him, and I was just like, have you not seen him? Have you not looked at his face? Do you not understand that he and his cronies are going to set this country back on a destructive fossil fuel munching, backward preaching, anti-gay, anti-anything other than Catholic kind of sort of backpedal to the past? I mean, that's who he is. That's exactly who he is. He's anti-gay. He's pro-Catholic. He's pro-big business. He's pro-big money. He's pro-coal. He's completely anti-wind farms and anti-solar. He started a smear campaign against wind power by saying that wind turbines were a blight on the landscape. The very landscape that they're digging the shit out of and fracking, like, to get to resources. I mean, this is how ludicrous the man was. And I think he actually believed what he was saying. That's the thing that makes me think you're an utter cunt, because he actually believed it, like that what he was saying was right, that because he and a bunch of his friends sat around a big boardroom table and joked about it, that was somehow representative of what the Australian people wanted. And I tell you what, the government here is completely and utterly disenfranchised from what the Australian people, who they are and what they actually want. We want peace. We want love, we want harmony, we want the country to be looked after, we want jobs and stuff, I suppose, to a degree, we want a house and all of that kind of stuff, like what everybody wants, but we don't want to see the environment raped and all of the money being sent to some rich arsehole so that the 1% can get richer. That is completely, like, the 1% who think that's what people want are completely and utterly insane. They're actually insane. And this is it's terrifying to think that there are people out there who will put money ahead of anything else. They even family, even friends, even just, they have no shame. It's just about money. And I wonder what is missing from your soul that you desperately need money in order to kind of like, what are you trying to do? Like, okay, so you've got 1% of the world's money. Like, the 1% have the same, will this next year have the same amount of money between the 1% that the rest of the 99% have. And I just think, why? Are you like working with aliens and like sending the money, like some sort of galactic exchange off to some other universe or something? I mean, why are you raping the world of its resources and keeping all the cash for yourself? What does that actually prove? Uh, it must be going off to another planet. Like, it doesn't make sense, like, for it to be in a finite system. That system doesn't work. So what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Why do you want to be rich? Why? Because ultimately all it means is you're alienating yourself from the other 99%, and the other 99% of people on the planet are fucking amazing and important and have more soul, like, in one of their hairs, like, than that you have in your entire fucking body. So, like, what are you trying to do? I just don't understand the desire for people to want more and more and more and more, because once even if you had 100% of everything, so what? You just sat on top of a mountain of bones. What? You might enjoy the view, if there's a view left, because it's probably just be covered in smoke and shit. And what's the point? Like, really, what is the point of power? Why do you want power? Anybody who wants power doesn't deserve it. And the people who do deserve it, unfortunately, aren't the ones going for power, because power corrupts, man. It does. You just have to look at a politician when they enter, and they're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and they have ideals, and that they're going to change the world. And by the end of the career, they are just husks of human beings that can barely. There's not even a spark left in them, and it's really sad that that's the system that is actually the system that's in control of everything. Because, well, it isn't really, obviously. It's the people with money who are controlling them like puppets, obviously. But really, if you're a puppet master, you must be so fucking lonely. Like, why? Why would you want to be that? Why would you want to be in control of everything and yet have no connection to any of it? Just have some strings, like, between you and the thing you're controlling. It's not, that isn't human. It's inhuman, and it's not. It won't make you happy, and it won't get you into heaven, and it will just get you loss and pain and anger, and it won't heal anything. Any of the things, obviously people who want power have got some serious issues, and they're trying to heal by diverting their attention to gain, but you're not actually gaining anything. You're not healing yourself. You're not becoming the good person that you potentially could be. And whatever pain in the past has led you to that, I mean, it might just be that some people are literally just born evil. It might be that case. I don't know, but I just can't believe that there is just 100% evil at all. Just like I can't believe that there's 100% good. It just doesn't. Maybe, I mean, again, a spectrum. Maybe one of each. Maybe there might be one of each, and then everything else in between is kind of humanity. But ultimately, like, everybody who's a good person still has bad thoughts and does wicked things occasionally, and fucks up and makes mistakes and hurts people, and, you know, buys the wrong thing and full of palm oil, and some orangutan dies. I mean, everybody does it, but I can't believe that there are people out there who are just irredeemable. I just don't know. Like, is there really pure evil in the world? Does that really exist? I mean, what do you guys think? Because when I look at when I looked at Tony Abbott, I made a comment just very brief, like about a week or maybe a few days before he got ousted. I take comfort in the fact that we'll only have to put up with Tony Abbott for a little while, but he'll have to be himself for the rest of his life. And I said it as a bit of a joke, but afterwards I kind of thought, actually, it's really kind of sad, because is it possible for Tony Abbott to become a good person? You might not be able to forgive him for his mistakes, but he might be redeemed by doing good in the world. Is that possible? I mean, I wonder if maybe he's just pure evil, and perhaps I thought he might be like some sort of psychopath, basically, who just doesn't understand human emotion and mimics it with rictus grins and kind of like head nods and saying what he needs to say like a robot, because there doesn't seem to be a spark of humanity in someone like that, or the Joe Hockeys of the world. You think, how can you be so evil and smoke your stogies with your friends out on the lawn while so many people in the world are suffering at your hand? How can you actually do that? And I just wonder if deep down there isn't just a part of them that just loathes themselves so much for what they do. But you know, surely inside all of that there's something, and if not, that's really fucking sad, man. It's really sad. And yeah, I bag on people who do evil in the world, obviously, because they're evil and they're doing evil. But really, it's incredibly sad that they exist that way, that they act that way, that they think that that isn't an acceptable way to be. It's just really tragic, and yeah, it's quite upsetting, really. I always assume that it comes from some sort of deep-seated damage, either done passed down through the generations, you know, systematic abuse and all of that kind of thing, or perhaps potential sexual molestation as children, physical, mental abuse, all of those things. I think those things can break somebody, but I do wonder sometimes whether people are just born evil, whether pure evil exists in the world. And you certainly see evil deeds, you see people doing evil things, but are they irredeemable? I don't know. I've certainly felt evil presences in my time, certainly under certain altered states. I have experienced quite a horrible black presence that, yes, not good. But the roof bangs. What are you trying to tell me, roof? You're on my side? You can never tell. Sorry, I'm not in an altered state now. Sorry for being a bit out there, but the roof, he talks to me. He's talking to pillows, kids. That's one of my favourite lines from Ren and Stimpy. And the pillow turns around and goes, he's talking to pillows, kids. I just love that show, man. So good, so good. But yeah, I'm not talking to pillows. I made a little pillow man. He's got arms and legs, and he's got a little feather face. He's got feather eyebrows. Well, okay, that's pattern recognition, really. It's kind of apparently where my IQ is predominantly at. So yeah, I just sort of, whether those patterns are real or not, I do sort of see coincidences quite a lot, which are I find personally quite funny, but I generally don't communicate them with other people because they just think I'm a little bit more crazy than I actually am. I'm looking at a little thing that's on the screen now that's saying calm, and there's a picture of a teapot, so maybe I'm supposed to calm down right now. Will people think I'm crazy? Hey, Mr. Teacher! Woof! Hey, do you think they'll think I'm crazy? Oh, he's looking the wrong way. Look at me, look at me. Here we go. Do you think they'll think I'm crazy? Ruff! Ruff! Anyway, I can't remember what I got on here to talk about. What was it? Something about something. Yes, it's new me. It's new, exciting, on to the next phase me. So I'm giving myself 3 months to just get as much knowledge in my brain as possible. Awesome. All right, love you guys. Bye.